Visual Materials Trace by DNAAM. Our Dynamic Materials Visual Trace tool is a key USP of our DNAAM system to track powder usage throughout the build cycle. In order to do this, we have to go to the Network Inventory Trace. This is the trace functionality, or the trace screen as we know it. This screen gives you easy access to identify the number of times a powder has been used, which builds it has been used in, and where there has been any powder recovery. All you have to do here is enter a build number to search. Alternatively, you can search via material's identity number known as a GIN. For this example, let's look at build number 117. Here we will be able to understand the full history of the build. If we then click into the build, we can see that materials batch 307 was the initial parent, but batch 306 was also used to top up that build. We can also see the exact quantity of powder allocated, the stock location, and when it was picked. If we look in the output section, it tells us the history of the material blend, including how much of the original 50 kilos has been recovered and which method was used to recover it. For example, 307H is the new batch output, where the 307 indicates the parent GIN and the H indicates it was recovered via the hopper. And we can see that 20 kilos has been recovered for us to use. Similarly, 307R1 shows that this came from the PRS, Powder Recovery System, and the 1 tells us it's only been recovered once, and we have recovered 3 kilos of it. Then, if we look in the build detail, we can see that 27 kilos was used on the build, so we can see that there is no waste from this process. We can also see that one consumable, GIN 309, was used in this build and which batch it's from. Likewise, we can see the exact part number and quantity used, and even the post-processing job number. Let's talk more about the build itself. You will see on the outer area here, we have the powder identity key. Here, green represents virgin powder, and the solution is telling us that 50 kilos of that virgin powder was used. Next, the machine represents build 117. It confirms that 50 kilos of virgin powder was planned for the build, and we recovered 20 kilograms of material from the hopper and a further 3 kilograms recovered from the PRS. By clicking on the recovered batch, we can see what these powders have also been used for. You can see from the solution that we blended the 2 recovered batches. This blend is now represented by the grey color, which is a new batch, with batch number 320. This is where the blending is recorded and uniquely traceable within the DNAAM solution. Moving on, we can show the complete history of this powder by simply clicking on the powder to display its entire history. Again, here you can see that any batch of powder that has been topped up is now lavender. This is how, by utilizing the DNAAM Visual Trace module, we can digitally, quickly, and easily trace any material either by batch or by build number throughout its entire history.